Hello everybody, it's Brigit here. I'm one of the Silverfit Pilates teachers and I'm going to take you through a very relaxing set. This one will work on your tight spots, so hips, back, shoulders, anything that feels a little bit tight, we're going to sort of iron it out. It's a good session to do after another workout if you're feeling energetic and you want to just kind of have a decent stretch after that. Or you can just do it as a standalone, and it's a good one to do, for example, sort of in the evening when you want to wind down. Okay, so without further ado, we'll crack on. So we're just going to start off, the whole session is on the mat, okay, so we're not going to stand up at all for this one. So we'll start off on the mat, okay, and then just tuck your knees into your chest. You can do one at a time, or you can do both, and then just have a little rock from side to side. And then release the feet back onto the floor. And working the legs one at a time is a little bit easier on the body. Okay, so before we start with the movements, we just want to check the setup. So we're going to have our spine in neutral for this one, unless you feel that you've got a kind of tweaky back, in which case you can imprint the spine by lengthening. Otherwise, just try and maintain that neutral spine. We just have the tiniest little curve in the lumbar. And the other thing we want to do is just make sure the neck is nice and long. So for some people, you'll need to put your head up on a cushion or a block, or even a piece of clothing will do nicely. And then we're here, and our hips and our knees and our feet are all hip width apart. So we're just going to do knee drop outs. So as you inhale, the right knee goes over to the right, and as you exhale, we draw it back in. And we want to use the abdominals to facilitate that. And then the other side, left leg out, and then draw it back in. And then we're just going to repeat that, alternating. Inhale as you drop out the knee, exhale as you draw it back in. You want to work with some control, so the rest of the body remains nice and still. And you've got a soft gaze up towards the ceiling. So you might be tempted to look left and right, but it's much nicer. You'll get more benefits if you keep that head nice and straight. You can feel the shoulders. Try not to start to hold tension in the shoulders. Keep them relaxed. And we'll just do one more on each side. We're coming onto the side blade of the foot. And then one more on the other side. Okay, and you can do more if you want to. You can press the pause button and do a few more. We're just going to move on to the next one. Okay, so tucking your knees in again, cradling your kneecaps, and we're just going to circle out the knees. And this is the one where we separate the knees and then we bring them back together, and then we change direction. If you prefer to circle the knees with the legs stuck together, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, and then release the feet back to the floor, one at a time or both at the same time. And your arms are down by your side. You can have your arms in a crucifix, palms up, palms down, or arms in a cactus position. And this will open out the chest a little bit more, but it is a little bit more challenging for the trunk, okay? So if you want to keep it super chilled, have your arms down by your side, you can use them as brakes. And we're going to glue the legs together. We're going to engage these abdominal muscles, and then as you inhale, both knees go over to one side. Now the top foot will lift. You can see my top foot's lifting there, because we don't want that to happen. Okay, and then exhale, and then inhale, the knees go over to the other side. Keep control here. You want to keep those waistline muscles on. Soft gaze towards the ceiling. So keep monitoring what's happening around this area, the neck and the shoulders. If you feel like you're holding tension, just shrug and release. Okay, we'll do a couple more on each side. So we're getting a nice stretch for the spine here, lovely twisting action. Keep it under control and avoid any tweaking in the lower back. So if you feel that you're twisting too much and it's coming into your lower back, ease off. Okay, and we'll just finish that one off. Keep your opposite shoulder on the floor, and you want to keep the back of your ribs nice and soft, just heavy onto the mat. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, we're going to just heel toe the feet, so they're wider than the mat in fact. We're going to keep one leg totally still whilst the other leg knocks in. You get a really good stretch across here. Okay, and then bring that leg back, and then keep that leg still, and then knock the other knee in. So we're internally rotating the hips, just one at a time. It's similar but different to the windscreen wiper stretch we do sometimes. With this one, we're just working one leg at a time. You can feel where it's tight. One side might feel tighter than the other, certainly does with me. Okay, and then come back. And then we're just going to heel toe the feet back so that they're hip width apart again. Now, you might need to just have a quick sense check of your feet position. Sometimes we can be a little bit strange with our feet without even realising it. So we want to have the hips, the knees, the feet tracking. You might be able to just tickle the backs of your heels. They might be miles away, it doesn't really matter. So you don't want them too far away, they want to have a distinct bend. So with this one, we're going to just do some pelvic tilts, okay, so very Pilates. We start off with a neutral spine, and as we exhale, we're just going to roll the pelvis under and lengthen. So you want to get this length between the tail and the crown, and you'll feel your muscles here just automatically switch on. We want the pelvic floor muscles on as well. And then as you inhale, release back to neutral, and then exhale, imprint, rolling the pelvis under. Try not to scrunch up the shoulders when you're doing this. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed. Inhale, release. And as you get into the rhythm of this, you can just start to activate a few more deep core muscles, like your pelvic floor muscles. And the energy is kind of going, as you exhale, the energy is coming inwards and upwards. If you've got an exercise ball or a pillow or a cushion, you could pop it in between your thighs and just kind of squeeze on that pillow or cushion. Or you can just pretend you've got a balloon in between your knees and you can just kind of generate that energy. Okay, and we're going to do one more, and we're just going to hold it. So we'll just hold that, and we're really gathering up. Now, if you squeeze too hard, you might find it comes into your neck, so keep that free. You might find your bum muscles start to clench, and try and not do that either. We want to keep very internal. Okay, and then we'll release. Good. And then you can just let your knees windscreen wiper from side to side, or do any kind of stretch that you want to do. And now we're just going to move the arms and just get some shoulder mobility. So to start off with, we'll be quite sort of free with the movement. So we'll just let the arms be nice and free and just focusing on the mobility. Okay, so you can go with one arm at a time. You can go circles one way, you can go circles the other way. So just freestyle it, whatever feels best. Okay, and then we're just going to do 3 each way a little bit more energetically. So we start to think about the shoulders, we're engaging here, and it's a bit more like and then the other way for 3, 2 and 1. Lovely, and shake it out. So with the feet and the knees and the hips tracking, and with the arms up in the air, we're just going to shrug the shoulders and then just let your arms be really heavy. So the shoulder heads are sinking right back into the sockets. And then, because we don't want to do the next exercise with our shoulders off the floor, we'll do that one more time. Inhale, winging out the shoulders. And then as you exhale, let your arms be nice and heavy. So the shoulder heads are really sitting well back into the sockets. Just sense check with what's happening with your neck. You don't want that, you want to have it nice and long. And again, with our spine in neutral, we're going to open the knees, we're going to open the arms, and as we exhale, come back to the starting position. So we're not touching, we're at the starting position. And then inhale and exhale. And we're getting this lovely kind of wave where one movement just flows seamlessly into the next. And if your lower back feels like it's kind of not enjoying this, you can activate your imprint. Okay, but if you can manage to stay in neutral, do so. Okay, and then we'll release out of that, and your arms are down by your side. And we're going to do a bridge movement with the arms. Okay, so we'll inhale, and as we exhale, just start to tuck your tailbone under, tucking it under. The arms float off, and then we're in that bridge. And then you're going to circle the arms around as you release back down. We'll do 2 more like that. And you don't have to come all the way up into the bridge if it feels like you don't want to do that. You can just stick with some tilts or just do the arms only. We want to get this articulation through the spine, so you're really kind of separating out each vertebra. Okay, feel free to do a few more if you want to. Okay, so we're just tucking in. We're going to circle out the knees again, a couple of times each way, a couple of times the other way, and then we're just going to roll over onto our sides. Okay, so I'm just going to get a cushion for the next one, excuse me. Okay, so we're in the mermaid position, and if you don't like this position, it can be a bit harsh for some people's knees. Just find an alternative. Only you know what is best for you, so just find that alternative. You've got plenty of time to explore. So we're going to place the hand down on the floor like so, and we're going to inhale, and as you exhale, just take a stretch, or if you want to, take a lift, and you've got this nice kind of rainbow shape on the top side of your body, and then release back down. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, and then release back down. You're going to lift your right arm and reach up, reach up, reach up, really telescope up and out of your waist. Take a side bend. And then release. Okay, so next stretch, you want to keep your waistline muscles on, and then we're just going to rotate towards the front of the mat. And this might be enough of a stretch for you, so you can just hold it here, or you can come down onto your forearms, or you can really stretch into it. And this is where the cushion comes in. So if you want to kind of just completely flop into the stretch, feels really nice. And this should feel really nice, and if it doesn't, just come up a little bit higher, okay? And when you're ready to release out of that, come out of that. Okay, so we'll swivel around to the other side. Let's get that ready. Okay, so your hand is like so, and you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, take a stretch. You've got that nice rainbow shape on the top side of the body, and then lift up if you want to. That's it. And release. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, exhale. And release. And now your left arm comes up, so you're reaching really high, so you really want to kind of get that length. So muster all the length that you can, and then go for the side bend. So again, we've got this nice curve here, sort of banana shape. Try not to go saggy at your hands, keep the intention. Okay, and then release. We're here, we're switched on, the waistline muscles, we're going to go for a rotation. When you're rotating, we want this kind of spirally twist. We don't want to wrench or jerk or be too harsh with it. So again, you might just be on your hands and that's fine. You might be on your forearms, that's also fine. You might just go for a full stretch. So do whatever you enjoy the most. Get a good stretch sort of around the armpit and the side body. Okay, and then walk the hands up. Ooh, as we're here. Okay, so we're going to come onto hands and knees, and we'll just start off with a few cat-cow stretches. Okay, so we want to have the wrists underneath the elbows, underneath the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips, and try not to let your legs waft around, so sort of really root the legs into the floor. And just by kind of pressing into the knuckles of the fingers and the shins, you'll start to feel active. And we're going to tuck the tailbone under, and the rest of the spine just ripples through. Strong, tall arms. Try not to lock out your elbows. And then as you inhale, the tailbone starts to tilt up and the rest of the spine ripples through. Just feel your shoulder blades, they should be gliding down the ribs. Your natural movement around the shoulders. Okay, and then we'll repeat. Exhale, inhale. Now we can do all sorts of things with a cat-cow stretch. You can just keep it like this, or you can go for some circling of the backside, or the other way, or you can just go side to side. So, you know, make it your own, do what you need to do. And then we're going to come back onto hands and knees. And then one arm, it opens out. And then as we exhale, we thread the needle. So scoop through to thread the needle. Your standing arm can bend at the elbow and then you press yourself up. And again with this one, just go as deep or as shallow as feels good for you. Try and keep your lower legs locked onto the mat. And then we'll swap sides. If you want to do a few more, press pause, do a few more. And really inhale as you open out and exhale as you thread the needle. And we'll do one more. And then release. Okay, so we're going to lie on our fronts. And lying on our fronts here, we want to engage the abdominals. We're going to do some back extensions or back bends where we get into the back body. We're mobilising the upper back. We want to be really careful of what's happening in the lower back and what's happening in the neck, because these bits can overarch and this bit can stay quite stiff. So what we want to do is get traction in the whole of the spine, encourage length and traction, okay? So we need to engage. We're going to press the tops of the feet on the mat. We want to have the hips heavy on the mat and the tops of the feet heavy on the mat, and then the kneecaps are going to kind of float off a little bit. Engage your abdominals and you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, imagine you're rolling a pea underneath your nose all the way as far as it can go, and then just start to lift off. Okay, you can use your hands, just kind of press and drag the hands and then release. Now this is another, just really go by feel. If you feel that pinching in the spine and the lower back, ease off, just come up a tiny little bit. And we're going to do one more. Okay, now if you want to take it a little bit harder, you can float the forearms and then release. Just create a pillow with your hands and just shake your hips out. Oh, lovely. And then we're going to come into child's pose. This is the counter stretch. And a really nice version of the child's pose is to have your knees wide and your feet together, and that way you can just kind of really let yourself go, and you can bring your arms down by your side like so, and that way you can just really relax into it. You can put your head on something, your hand even, or anything you have to hand if the forehead doesn't like to be too close to the mat. Okay, and then we're just going to ease ourselves onto our sides again, and this time we are going to use the pillow again. You can use the block as well, so even a book, but a pillow is nicer. Okay, so we're lying down on our sides and we've got our arms outstretched and our hands are in prayer and our knees are one on top of the other, and then as you inhale you're going to open out. It's great for the pecs, this one. It'll really kind of sort out tight shoulders, and as you exhale, closing off. Now another variation of this is to draw a big arch or even a full circle. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of circles in this direction and then a couple of circles in the other direction. Now for some people the circles aren't great because it might, if you've got a shoulder thing going on or just some kind of tightness, you might prefer just the opening and the closing, okay? So just stick with whatever feels the best for you. And then we're going to do the other side. I'll just move my pillow to the other side. Or you could just flip over. Okay, and then we're here, and then we open out. So you're unravelling from your centre here as we open out. Try not to fling your arm back like that. You want to kind of really unravel from your centre. So if you're quite tight, you might even need to keep your arm bent. Okay, so you might just get to about here. Okay, so again, it's the core that kind of controls the movement rather than the outer extremities of the limbs. You need a lot of space for this one. It's nice. Okay, and then if you've been circling, change direction. You can go for a half circle, a semicircle. Okay, and then we're here. I'm going to keep the pillow here actually because it's a nice support. And you're going to bring one leg up. We're going to stretch out the hamstring. So if you're really tight, I'm really tight in the hamstring. So for me, it's better just to keep a little bit of a micro movement going through this. Okay. If you're very limber, you might just want to go for a stretch. For me, I'm like shaking. Or you might want to move and then you might want to hold the stretch, okay? But whatever you're doing, you want to feel the stretch and the heft of the muscle. In this case, it's the hamstring. You want to feel it in the chunky bit of the muscle, not where it's joining onto attaching itself to your bones. Okay, and then we'll swap over. This one's even tighter. So inhale, exhale. If you're going for the movement, inhale as you bend, exhale as you straighten. So if you've been doing all the other Silverfit workouts, you might be feeling quite tight. Okay, and then we're here. Lovely, and then shake it out. So both legs come up in the air and we're going to go for a wide straddle, so a nice wide V shape. You can use your hands just to create a little bit of an assist for the stretch. Okay, and then we'll just give the ankles a circle or a flex and a point, flex and a point. Use your hands to come to the outer thighs. Use your arm strength to zap the legs together and then release the feet to the floor, and we'll cross one leg over the other. So the number 4 stretch. And then we're going to stretch out the glute here. You place your right hand in that triangle shape between your legs, cradle behind your left thigh, and then just go for a stretch. So the right glute and kind of side of the leg area is going to feel a stretch. It's nice to have your head on the pillow for this one. Stops you going into those shoulders. And then release, shake, shake, other leg over other leg, flex that foot, okay? And then we're going to place the left hand in that triangle shape, just grab behind the thigh, tuck in. If you want a bit more, you can just press the elbow against the inner thigh and that will give you a deeper stretch. And then release, okay? And just give everything a little shake. And we're going to have a few moments just in quiet reflection. So you can have your legs straight and just let your feet flop out to the side and your arms are down by your side. Nice to have your head on a pillow here. And you can close your eyes for a few seconds. If this feels pinchy on your back, your alternative here is just to bend the legs and to knock your knees together. So if the knees are rested together, it's going to be kinder for the lower back. So you just do what you want to do. And we'll have a few moments with our eyes closed. And take a few deep breaths, so really filling up as you inhale. And really let that breath ooze out as you exhale. And just start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side, and it doesn't matter which side, any side will do. And ease yourself up. We're going to spread our wings, present our chest up towards the ceiling, and give yourselves a little clap. Well done. See you soon.